gentlemen, the unofficial, official 9 to noon MVP of the joint practices is this guy.
Dart pops, tries to avoid a sack, but he can't. Jackson Dart is taken down, and the first preseason sack goes the way of Dallas Turner. Vikes lead 3-0, 8-yard loss, and the New York Giants are punting.
I got one thing to say. This is when the big dogs come out. Can't roll the big dogs. Stay on the board.
Everybody ready now? Everybody ready now? This is the Friday Football Happy Friday. Thanks for rising and shining at 9. Thanks for the rise and shine at 9. Sources tell 9 to noon. We have Vikings Ravens tickets to give away later in the presentation. And, of course, they will be tied to Talkback Central. That'll take place in the final hour. Hey, get your Vikings Ravens tickets at no charge a little later today at FM 100.3 KFAN and the 9 to noon presentation. Football feast. What a week. 2 days of joints. The great Finchy to start it, and HOF Rod Woodson out of nowhere to finish it. I mean, we started the joints with Finchy. Finchy. Was that a Vikings practice? Got to call Chris. Finished it with HOF Rod Woodson out of nowhere.
Should I be embarrassed a little bit, PA? I'm 41 years old. And being with this show and this station, I get to see a lot of guys that played sports at a very high level. But I'm older than most of them now, right, that are currently playing?
Yes, sir.
I was completely starstruck when I saw Rod Woodson yesterday. One of the most physical, imposing safeties in the history of the NFL. I see Kyle Yeoman's Ravens Vox standing right behind me, and I just turn around to give a little fist bump, and we're on air mid-segment, and Alec's in the mix, so we're going to continue having fun with Alec. And I was looking, hang on, I had to double take. I almost hurt my neck.
Yeah, hey.
Double take. I'm like, that's HOF. So then I had to text you to let you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, just a blast meeting Rod. What an incredible football mind. And it was a fun segment with him, of course. But just getting to chat with him off air a little bit. That was pretty special yesterday.
I can't imagine if the Minnesota Vikings had joints with the San Francisco 49ers, how you would act if Jerry Rice showed up.
I always love that one.
Or even John Taylor.
Are you kidding me?
Or even John Taylor, the sidekick to Simon LeBon with an old school band called Duran Duran.
I always love that one.
The con just might be all crazy. It's 9:03. Started with Finchy, Rod Woodson out of nowhere to finish it. Everybody was all wide-eyed and wide-eared. Podcast the whole thing. You'll like it all. KFAN.com, 9 to noon on demand. Wednesday and Thursday, 18 of them. Podcast them all. KFAN.com. We think you'll like the whole thing. Now, there was a development yesterday during Minnesota Vikings joint practice numero dos versus the rough and tumble Baltimore Ravens. Nordo and I, by choice, left the joint practices early yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the day before with the fan family reunion and the Ravens Vox looking for friends and people and Adam Thielen and PJ Fleck and HOF Randy Moss. I mean, it was good enough to eat. That was like, that had a party feel to it. But nevertheless, numbers and body types and the mission that needed to be accomplished was accomplished. So then the next day, you just amplify it and fortify it. But Nordo and I made a key decision yesterday, and it's on behalf of the 9 to noon presentation and those so dedicated to listen as frequently as you do. We left the joints early yesterday. Why? Because what we witnessed after 70 to 80 minutes of practice looked so good. We found ourselves battling overconfidence.
I always love that one.
We're just like, so we just left. It's like, that's it. I mean, just put this whole thing on ice. I mean, seriously. I mean, is Dallas Turner trying to put Ronnie Stanley in retirement? I mean, what are we doing here? We skipped away from the joints full of glee and supreme hope for the 2026 Minnesota Vikings. We had Ben Gessling was one of the constituents as part of the fan family reunion joint practice day one. So he's on the perch, and he gets a hold of my 16-year-old Nikon 10 by 50 binoculars. And I got no idea if, like, during games he was trying to watch through, I don't know what kind of bunk binoculars he was using, but he acted like mine were the greatest he's ever seen. So what did the scribe do? He bought some Nikon 10 by 50 binoculars at a very fair price.
Oh, sweet.
I always love that
He
one.
was so excited to have them yesterday. He's like, this is a game changer. It changes the whole perspective for things. And I'm like, all right, well, let me check them out. So then I looked through the binoculars and I looked north, south, east, and west. And I couldn't find it.
I always love that one.
I couldn't find the Vikings' first loss on the schedule.
I always love that one.
Through the scribe's new binoculars. Holy cow. We had to leave early yesterday. I mean, we were battling overconfidence. We skipped away from the joints full of glee and supreme hope for the 2026 Minnesota Vikings. Now, here are some facts. Hyperbole and bit-raised approach to the side. Here's some facts. Justin Jefferson never has looked stronger, and his intermediate cuts and routes are the best I've seen all of his career.
There we go, Paul!
And I think I needed to see it against Nate Wiggins, who's pretty good, and against Marlon Humphrey, who's a 10-year crafty veteran from Alabama. And even Kyle Hamilton got in the mix. Then you had some bottom roster L's who just had no chance. But I'm like, when Justin was on the sideline from MetLife Stadium, first thing I started talking about was his arms because he's just built himself up so much. But then you watch the joints and it's like, I'm going to take a step back here. This guy never has looked stronger, and his intermediate cuts and routes, honestly, are the best I've seen of his career.
There we go, Paul!
Not exaggerating with any of this. Dallas Turner and Blake Cashman were unblockable. They were unblockable for 2 days. Dallas Turner was the star of both teams during these joint practices. And after we saw what would be like Dallas Turner's 5th sack over 2 days, Nordo was like, we have to get out of here. Put these days on ice because they are all set for the Green Bay Packers. Wasn't that just a ton of fun, Mr. Mad Producer?
Are you kidding me? I mean, over the course of those 2 days, scrambling, I started yesterday's show basically saying that Christian Darrisaw has evolved into HOF-level tackle,
right,
and that he's taking no prisoners and showing no mercy. And yesterday, with JJ on a couple of occasions, Kyler on a few occasions, the dimes they were throwing, nothing's going to stop us now. Damon Claiborne finding a seam and scoring a 40-yard touchdown in a joint practice has me trying to figure out how many running backs we're going to be able to fit in the final 53.
Right.
And then what Dallas Turner has been doing and what Blake Cashman has been doing. Hey, whatever 22's up to, how does this defense get even better in 2026? You name some guys that need to be part of that conversation. Number 15 is super freaking human. He's going to be vying for sack record immortality this year. I had to leave early just so I could calm down and come back to earth.
The Packers currently, from what I understand, are scouring social media for any and all video clips so they can start working on the scheme.
I always love that one.
909, we got Charch. All right. Thank you, Steve's Appliances. It's a Steve's Appliances marathon segment. courtesy of Steve's Appliances, stevesappliances.com. Mounds View is where the store is located, 7,000 square feet of money-saving love. So if you need appliances, take advantage of this Labor Day sale going on right now. And you can if you make purchases of $5.99 or more, there you get, I believe, 2 years of a free warranty. I mean, they just give and give and give until they can't give anymore. And that includes the KFAN and the 9 to noon presentation. StevesAppliances.com. Ravens and Vikes Saturday at U.S. Bank Stadium. And this, with the Ravens and the Vikes, this marks the return of the Vox of all Voxes ever to Vox, beloved Roachy, and a couple of teams who gave everything through a couple of days at TCOPC. So big opportunity, probably tomorrow, for backups and deep backups to win favor and grab a spot on the practice squad. Grab a spot on the practice squad, and you're like, all right, well, we're happy for you.
I want to win, man. That's all I care about.
Guess what? There are worse ways to make $250,000 or so, okay?
Winnersville sounds better in FM.
So go get those practice squad spots. Saturday, new general manager Nolan Teasley joins the simulcast for the third quarter, and safety Joshua Metellus is from the sideline for the fourth quarter. That all sounds like a ton of fun. Just like fantasy football drafts and fantasy football speculation.
PA and Charch.
Joining us now with the Fantasy Football World Show and podcast is Paul Charchian. You can learn more at ffworldshow.com. Big Charchie, what's going on, brother?
Hey, excited to be out there in a week for the State Fair. Excited to see you in Nordo, and great to be back on the show.
By the way, big, from what I understand, big podcasting numbers for you guys out of the gate with Fantasy Football World and that show. Well done, Charchie, and good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. An earnest thank you to all the people that downloaded, subscribed, liked, reviewed, followed everything to Fantasy Football World. Paul, our debut episode came in at number 27 in the sports category and number 7 in the fantasy football category.
I know, right?
Episode.
Wow.
Unbelievable. So grateful. It's just, you don't know. Sometimes when you know this, Paul, sometimes you're behind the mic and you do these shows and you don't know, was one person listening? Was there 10,000 listening? Did they like it? Did they not like it? You don't know. And to get the feedback that we've gotten and all of the listenership and all the people who are happy that we're back, honestly, it's one of the most humbling experiences I've had professionally. And I'm so grateful to the people that have supported us. It's amazing. Amazing.
Let's take good and make it better.
PA and Charch.
Free cheat sheets at ffworldshow.com. Free fantasy football cheat sheets at ffworldshow.com. Hey, get your free cheat sheets at ffworldshow.com. Top price. And let's begin here. All right. Because I downloaded that bad boy last night, and I got some takes and talkers and tedium and questions, and I'm sure Nordo does too. And here we are. So off your cheat sheet at ffworldshow.com. It's all free. Top price. So we have drafts and we have auctions. So let's say $100 auction. Okay. Player top price for a $100 auction is Detroit Lions running back Jahmyr Gibbs at $35. All right. So just minimal concern with that O-line, right? Making him first pick, top auction guy.
Yeah, I feel like he's the guy if you're going to, and by the way, love auctions. Highly recommend you play in an auction league if you possibly can. They're so much fun, and it's great to know that you can get any player. And that's the beauty of the auction is right now, if you want Jahmyr Gibbs, you have to land the first pick because he's going first in 90% of leagues. Auction, you can just I'm going to spend whatever it takes to get Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to be on my team. I don't care what it takes. And the upside on Gibbs is so tremendous with David Montgomery gone. Montgomery caught passes that now Jahmyr Gibbs will catch, especially because Isaiah Pacheco, the new backup, doesn't catch. Jahmyr Gibbs was already getting goal line use, the 50-50 split with Montgomery. Now Montgomery's gone, so Gibbs likely get almost all of the goal line use, and his quarterback's no threat to run him in. And this offense looks to be great. They have the easiest schedule in the league when you look at the Vegas lines for opponents, the win totals for opponents. Detroit's got the easiest schedule. Offensive line should actually be a little better than last year. So yeah, and new offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing, old friend, brings competency, right? They tried this John Morton trick last year. He lasted half a season before they pulled him away. And now you had your head coach trying to do 2 jobs and run the offense and everything else. Drew Petzing brings 3 years of competent experience from the Cardinals. For all things that were wrong with the Cardinals, it wasn't the offense, to this team. And that's another reason I really like the Lions. And I love Jahmyr Gibbs, 35% of your auction total.
I know, right?
Charchy, if you're going to win leagues in any year, sometimes you got to take a risk, and it's not emotional. It's just setups. It's schemes. You mentioned competency and coaching. Ashton Genty, your 5th-ranked running back here. How much of that is the Clint Kubiak effect? I mean, you have him ranked higher than a guy you love, Charchy, and Kenneth Walker in Kansas City.
Right.
You're riding some second-year mammoth jumps with Clint Kubiak. Speaking of competency and coaching on the offensive side of the ball, we got Kirko Chains there. What's up with Ashton Genty, your 5th overall RB?
Well, I'm really optimistic, but obviously what we saw last year was a disaster, but not from Genty. He was of all the starting running backs in the NFL, he was the one that was getting contact first, and it was behind the line of scrimmage. The first point of contact for Ashton Genty was -1 yards. It was behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a problem.
What I love about this opportunity with the Raiders for Genty, the improvements on the offensive line, Tyler Linderbaum, the new center, they stole him from the Ravens. That's going to seriously help. Spencer Burford comes in, just competency at the guard position. And then, as you mentioned, Clint Kubiak, just a lot of trust. Another Viking name. A lot of trust in the offenses that he's been able to put together. So yeah, I still feel like Genty is probably sitting a good season, but we're starting to look, by the way, at his backup. Mike Washington is flashing in training camp and in preseason games, including last night. That kid might actually be a little bit of a problem, and he is a bulldozer. So the presumption is we're going to get the version of Ashton Genty this year we were expecting last year. I've got him at number 5 on my running back cheat sheet.
Okay, but with respect to a quarter-century plus brother and friend, you're talking in circles a little bit. Because Genty, you have him ranked super high, but then at the end, you're like, well, this guy might be a problem. So what do I do with What are you doing?
You just told me not to draft him, basically.
Jeez.
No, I did not. No, I did not. That is not true. But we're keeping an eye on Mike Washington because this kid's good. And, I mean, the bigger concern for Washington might be just he's 6'1", 220 pounds. So he could be the goal line back. And if that keeps materializing, Genty's got the right to slide down a little bit. I update the sheet literally every day.
Right.
So, we'll see if this early storyline in training camps continues, we might nudge him down a spot or two.
You update the cheat sheet daily? Well, it sounds like a lot of things to do out there, St. George way.
I always love that one.
Well, yeah, the reason I have to update it daily is because it's so wrong. I'm trying to constantly fix the mistakes.
All right, let's land the plane on running backs. Are you still in love with Jordan Mason?
I was wrong last year when I was talking him up as a fantasy starter.
Or were you early?
Yes, but that's the thing. I think I was just early. It's all coming together for Jordan Mason. It feels like one of the standouts in training camp. I believe that this year, as opposed to last year, I don't think anybody's exactly said it, but I think he's the 1A, and I think Aaron Jones is the 1B. I believe they want to bring in this new power running game, and that Max Bredesen's going to be a real factor for this running game. Offensive line should finally be, at least starts the season healthy. So I've just got this newfound hope that for all the talk that KOC has every offseason about running more situationally, third and short, goal to go, that it actually comes together this year. Do you think I'm wrong to continue to have faith in Jordan Mason? I've got him ranked way higher than his average draft position. His average draft position is 38. I've got him ranked at running back 25.
I'm digging him. Drake May is your second quarterback behind Josh Allen. What led to that?
The acquisition of A.J. Brown is certainly part of it. You also get rushing from Drake May. They don't really push him like you would get out of Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, but you get the big arm, you get downfield plays. A.J. Brown is playing mad. That dude is angry. He's having an amazing preseason and training camp prior to that, and it's been lights out between those two. This might be, Drake May was already really good fantasy quarterback. He was the number 2 fantasy quarterback last year. I think that has the potential to get even better now that he's got better receivers on that team than he had last season.
Hey, year over year, Charch, speaking of quarterbacks, does it feel like once in a while you see these guys just in general getting overdrafted? Now, if Josh Allen's going to throw 30 TDs and run 14 or 15 of them in, you feel good, maybe real early rounds for him. But I'm thinking about Lamar, watching these joints, and not a lot to glean in totality with the Ravens and such in these joints, but just new offensive coordinator, new look. They don't have Linderbaum anymore because he's in Las Vegas, right, as you mentioned, and they've really, they're reshaping. They're relying, I think, 3 out of the 5 plus a draft pick. So 4 out of the 5 are kind of fresh, sans Ronnie Stanley.
Yep.
Like, how do you judge Lamar Jackson, a guy that typically you're thinking with that offense, you're going to get 5 to 7 rushing TDs potentially. You're going to get some yards on the ground in general, and he's going to throw a bunch to those receivers and Mark Andrews.
I have a little caution on the Ravens. Now, you mentioned the offensive line, which is a bit of a wreck right now. And Danny Pinter, one of the center candidates they had, got dinged up. And so
he's out for the year
as well.
Yeah, he's done.
Well, it's more than dinged up. That's a bad dinging right there. And among dingings, that's about as bad as it gets.
He was going to be their starter. He, from what I understood, had beaten Ethan Posick out of that job. So that's an L for them.
That is an L for them. The other big question mark is their new offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle. Now, the pedigree is awesome because he worked with Ben Johnson in Chicago last year as the offensive coordinator, but he wanted to call plays. So he took the lateral move over to Baltimore. But the downside is he's never called plays. And so, don't always know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get John Morton when you bring somebody in who doesn't have play calling experience. And then the other part that just worries me a little bit about the Ravens, and not anybody you ever think about as being a problem, but Derrick Henry did not look like the same guy for stretches of last year. And I'm not calling it a career because I don't want to be that guy that's, I tried that once with Tom Brady, calling it a career a tad early.
That was the best.
So we're not calling it a career on Derrick Henry, but to my eyes and by many metrics, not the same guy last year. And if he takes a bigger step backwards, that might be a sizable loss for them too. So this whole offense, I'm a tick down on this offense.
Okay, Paul Charchian at Paul Charchian via X. We have the Fantasy Football World Show. You can learn more about that, ffworldshow.com, and that's where you can get free cheat sheets. Charchi has his cheat sheets, and they're good for drafting and or auctions. Free cheat sheets at ffworldshow.com. Hey, get your free cheat sheets at ffworldshow.com. Tucker Kraft.
Why don't you put your pants back on, Slappy?
I want to talk about Tucker Kraft.
In your face, Milwaukee.
He's your 9th tight end.
Ooh.
Behind the likes of Jawan Johnson, Harold Fannin Jr., and Kyle Pitts. What the heck is going on there?
I love it.
Okay, first of all, he's great. And at the end of the day, he's going to be very good. The question is, and this has been raised already, the expectation is that at the start of the season, he's going to be very much on a pitch count. And if he's only going to be on the field for half the plays, maybe they're going to work in a little Luke Musgrave, whatever. That's the limiting factor on Tucker Kraft. It's not ability. And when you look, the Packers have the most vacated targets from last year. 170 targets from Jordan Love to receivers now elsewhere. And so you figure that ball's got to go to other new players. Is it going to be Matthew Golden coming off of one of the worst first-round rookie performances ever? Probably not. I mean, the ball's eventually going to find its way to Tucker Kraft. I just don't know if he's going to be somebody you can even start at the beginning of the year. So I've dinged him down to number 9 a little bit. If we get closer to the start of the season and it looks like Tucker Kraft is going to be ready to roll full go at the beginning of the season, well, then Tucker Kraft's got the right to move up to like tight end 3, 4, 5 because that's his upside.
Ever hear anybody get that excited about vacated targets?
I always love that one.
Only one, and I'm seeing him on the StreamYard link we're using, and his eyes are lighting up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, He's so happy to be back on the feast.
Hey, the guy that you have ranked in front of Tucker Kraft, permit me to be dumb for a second. There's part of me that thinks with Shuck in that situation down there, no Kamara, and just trying to find no Jordan Tyson, right? The draft pick?
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Juwan Johnson in that offense last year was kind of a poor man's McBride where he was getting tons of targets and catches, never getting into the end zone. Are you feeling that upticking momentum for Mr. Juwan Johnson to be a tight end that you must have when he's available?
Nobody has Juwan Johnson ranked higher than I do. He's tight end 8 for me, going off the board right now in most leagues at tight end 15. So I love Johnson. We won't button bar that, I hope. But here's what people don't know about Juwan Johnson. Last year, 900 receiving yards for the Saints. 900. He was number 3 among tight ends in yards.
Think about all the vacated targets.
Now Jordan Tyson gone. Yes, there's some vacated targets for you. Chris Olave potentially sitting on a big season too. Here's why Juwan Johnson's touchdown numbers are going to improve. Last year, Tyler Shuck was given 1 pass all season from inside the 5-yard line. That's it. Kellen Moore just didn't want the rookie throwing from inside the 5. Now as a sophomore, I think Tyler Shuck gets a lot more play inside the 5, and that's tight end territory. That's where Juwan Johnson's going to make up 4 touchdowns this season that he didn't have last year. It's on shorties from Tyler Shuck.
Man, you're making so many people money right now. All right, time for 2 more. Time for 2 more. 1 from me, 1 from Nordo. Will Reichard is your 11th kicker on the super special cheat sheet. Now, Will made 19 in a row to finish last year, never has missed an extra point, and might be the best kicker in the league. 11th, beloved Paulie? What are we doing here?
Well, the problem, Paul, how many fantasy points do you get for extra points?
You get 1.
There we go, Charch.
But don't you?
That's the problem.
Okay, but
that's the problem.
Right.
Why do you? What makes you think this team's going to settle for field goals?
Box.
So many touchdowns coming.
Okay. All right.
So many touchdowns.
Let's go ahead and close it up like this.
Oh, okay. How about this? Early trends into the season. Games don't count yet, but many drafts are taking place. Is there somebody, we talk about, so-and-so's, you rank them higher than most. Is there somebody that you're just sitting on? This is my 2026 fool's gold. People are going to buy into this guy, and they're going to get him in the second round. Maybe there's a first-round valued player that you're thinking this guy's going to be a complete L, and people are going to buy into it, and it's a total con game. Is there a player that you're feeling is fool's gold in 2026?
Well, I'm going to give you a player we're going to do on this week's Fantasy Football Weekly, which you can hear on KFAN.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I bet it's on tonight because tomorrow morning is the Vikings game. So I believe Fantasy Football Weekly will be airing tonight on KFAN. I'm going to estimated time 7 p.m.
Right.
You're going to hear a topic that we call players we love, draft positions we hate. Jaden Daniels is quarterback 5, and he goes off the board in round 5. And he's a special talent, runs around all the time, doesn't get goal line use, but he runs around all the time. He's got the big arm and everything. But here's the problem. He doesn't get goal-to-go rushing touchdowns. He gets hurt all the time. His offense has a ton of questions, including your offensive coordinator. It's David Blau. It's 30 years old. He's never had play calling duties. He's never been an offensive coordinator before. He's barely coached in the NFL. Offensive line already banged up with Laramie Tunsil out for the year. And in round 5, I can get a lot of really good proven players like DJ Moore or Jamison Williams or any of the tier 2 tight ends. So Jaden Daniels, a player I like, but I will not pay that 5th round price at quarterback 5 for Jaden Daniels.
Players we like. Ooh. Draft spots we loathe.
I like it.
All right. You're the best. What a great way to start the feast. Thank you, Charchy. We will chat with you next week. I will be in Denver for the Vikings final preseason game Friday, so I won't see you, but I'm sure that I'll see you down the road, okay?
Yes, I will see you at the fair the Friday after that, and I'll be with Nardo at the fair next Friday. Looking forward to it.
Appreciate you, brother. See you later.
Bye-bye. You're the best.
Paul Charchian at Paul Charchian via X, part of the Timber Tech What's on Deck set list, 9 to noon, and it's 9:30. That was a marathon of all marathons to marathon. Coming up later, in order, Vikes Bites next, numbers game after that. That's where I'm going to take a crack at that 53, and then corroborate it with Alec Lewis when he gets here at 10 o'clock. News du Nord after that. Red Hot Minnesota Twins just swept Atlanta. Atlanta went and did us a solid and beat the White Sox, by the way. The Twinigmatics are at Fernando Tatis and Manny Machado and Jackson Merrill and the San Diego Padres this evening. That'll be part of News du Nord. Then in the final hour, we designed it to set up some talkbacks about the joint practices and some surprise names and things like that. Yeah. And what was good became better because we have learned we have Vikings-Ravens tickets for tomorrow at U.S. Bank Stadium to be given away.
Guess how many?
How many?
5 pairs. 5 pairs of tickets to tomorrow's game for talkbackers during the final hour.
That's it's going to take place final hour, so make sure you become attuned to the free iHeartRadio app and figure out that talkback if you don't know how to do it. And you might leave with some ducats to the Palatial Purple Paradise tomorrow for the Vikings and Baltimore Ravens at noon, a game that also is on KFAN pregame with main man Mussy at 10 a.m. Nordo produces, and I'm Paul Allen. A very happy Friday to you. Thank you for listening to 9 to noon, wherever you listen to 9 to noon. And we'll be right back with some Vikes Bites at FM 100.3 KFAN. And good morning.
This is PA on iHeart.
Oh, Vikes Bites.
Oh, Vikes Bites. And it's brought to you by Kinmount Exteriors, windows, siding, roofing, and decks. You know, this time of year, you think summer projects are over. It's fall, kids in school, things get busy. This is actually the perfect time, whether it's windows and siding, building that new deck. Kinmount Exteriors here to help. They can't wait to work on a terrific project with you. And the website, the Clear Quote Promise, no guessing games or headaches or hidden fees. Learn more about that at KinmountExteriors.com.
And by the way, if you would like to join the mix 9 to noon or KFAN and sponsor a segment like Kinmount Exteriors or TimberTech, TimberTech.com, Steve's Appliances, Owl Roofing, Hoffman Cooling and Heating, Continental Diamond, etc., marketing at KFAN.com. And don't undersell yourselves, okay? Small businesses, medium, big businesses, let's make a play. Marketing at KFAN.com and write the letter to Lonnie. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, do what Kinmount Exteriors did, absolutely. And Miles Price continuing to do it on the field at Vikings training camp. Through the joints, he was asked yesterday, we heard about the nickname being Jug, but who gave it to him?
So it's a guy named Lucky Jack. He's with the Lions now. And one day we were just kind of talking about each other, going back and forth. And he goes like, that jug head you got. And then from there, it just stuck. Everybody liked it. Yeah, that's how I got it.
I love that.
Lucky Jackson, the former wide receiver here, right?
Lucky Jackson, yeah.
I think he just said Lucky Jack.
Well, maybe that's his nickname.
Right.
Everybody when you're feeling the felt, you need a Lucky Jack in your life. Miles Price continuing on, talking about just the second season.
It feels great. You know, I put a lot of work in. And, like, when you see your hard work pay off, I think that's the most, the best feeling, honestly, that you can really get. Like, knowing you didn't put a lot of hours into it and, like, to reap the benefits of it, you know, it's always great to see.
And he's reaping the benefits of it. You know, conversations with Matt Daniels, the special teams coordinator, the work that he has put into that end of things. And then potentially the balance of additional workload offensively. There's potential for a really fun 2026 for Miles Price. Now, you know, I mentioned in the open PA, I totally went fanboy on Rod Woodson when I turn around and he's just standing there on the perch. HOF, safety, immortality. Well, Miles Price, here he is talking about going fanboy when Randy Moss was hanging out in the wide receivers room.
Oh, gosh. He was sitting right next to me. He was giving me, like, tips. I couldn't believe it. I'm not going to lie. Like, he sitting casually, I'm eating my food, and he tagged me like, yeah, right here, you could have gave him this instead of that. I'm like, you're right. I should have did that. Like, and then we get out on the field before practice, and he come out here and show me a little vet move that I can apply to my game. Like, I think that's just so cool, and it's like one of the greatest feelings knowing I have like a guy like Randy Moss out here showing me the ways, you know?
They don't play the PlayStation like us.
Vikes Bites! Thank you, Kin Mount Exteriors.
Just to land the plane with Miles Price, who I do expect to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
As we've just to reiterate this because people don't listen all the time. Caught everything, thrown from every quarterback, one-handed grab for the only preseason touchdown, wiggled his way open against every corner and or safety for the Baltimore Ravens, had 0 catches last year. I think he only played like 17 offensive snaps. So Dallas Turner may be the official, unofficial MVP of the joint practices, or so says 9 to noon. Miles Price continues to open eyes, and there's something you absolutely can do with him on offense.
Hey, do you notice half of the websites that we use for our craft, doing a radio show, et cetera, you have to verify that you're human now.
Yep.
Just to get to the freaking site. So always allocate an extra 5-10 seconds. 17 snaps is dead accurate, PA.
Is it 17?
It's 17 snaps in 2025 for Miles Price. That number feels like it's going to go up. Vikes Bites, KinMountExteriors.com. Justin Jefferson, he's pretty good at what he does. We know he'll be getting a lot of snaps in 2026, and we love it. But the quarterback throwing it to him, it's all about finding that chemistry. What's the comfort level between Kyler and Jefferson right now?
Very comfortable. You know, he's a phenomenal quarterback, great athlete. So we know what he do on the run and with the ball in his hand. It's just all about, you know, him understanding me and how I run my routes, my timing, how fast I'm running, and just getting on the same page. And that just comes with time. The reps that we have here in practice. But that's why these joint practices are so important, just because we're not getting those game reps until, you know, the season actually starts. So getting those game reps with Humphreys and Wiggins on the other side, it was definitely work to be done, and it was great work.
All right, with Kyler, is this the cutest or most concerning thing that we've heard all joint practices? And here's what I mean. Kevin O'Connell yesterday at his press conference, we didn't get a chance to bring it up because it went right to the end of the show. But he says Kyler Murray conceded in the Giants preseason game. There was a time he couldn't see over the offensive line.
I always love that one.
Is that the most adorable or concerning thing that we've heard in about the last 3 weeks?
Well, it's adorable in relation to the context of Drew Brees acknowledging moments like that during his career.
Yeah.
Concerning the first time that something gets wonky. So we'll see. Something to keep in our back pocket. All the people, by the way, you know what it did? It totally vindicated all of those memes on the internet that show just.
I wouldn't say totally, but partially.
Just like a little baby Kyler just running. It's just.
Yeah, stop putting our quarterback on the luggage turn thing in the baggage claim area, okay? And like people picking him up by a handle.
Well, I saw one with he's like in a baby basket with a Vikings onesie and his nookie is a mouth guard. I mean, this stuff's just it's going too far.
Yeah, I got really technical, and I went down a road for about 15 minutes. I got really technical and Drew Breesy within the last couple of weeks. But you know what? I meant what I said. Is Drew Brees put in thousands of hours of learning because of his stature, his diminutive stature.
Yeah.
And he was 6 feet, but really 5'11". Kyler's listed at 5'10". Some people say 5'9". That's just how it works. But Brees from under center would learn to side sprint back on his 7-step drop.
As good as anyone's ever done it.
He's the best in the history of the NFL for short quarterbacks to do that. I mean, that's important. So I don't know if Kyler does that. I don't know if that's like what they're doing under the cover of darkness. I think it's very important to get back on that 5 and 7 step drop as quickly as you can.
Vikes! Kinmount Exteriors. I got one more from the wide out and then one from the tight end. Here's Justin Jefferson on Juwan Jennings.
I mean, he's quiet. He's quiet, but I mean, he's a dog when we step out here on that field. His physicality, his mentality, all of that stuff, it's a great addition to our team. We need that type of energy and that type of physicality on our side of the ball, just because we run and throw the ball as well. So he's a cheat code, like we like to say, and the way he goes down and without no fear and just attacking the safeties and getting those blocks for the lane to open up for the running back it was beautiful. So
there we go.
There will be Juwan Jennings moments when reviewing the All-22 or maybe seeing replays of nice plays where he won't catch the ball, but he's the main reason the thing got loose. People will be like, ooh, and then down goes a safety. He's just one of those guys.
Last thing for you, Vikes Bites, KinmountExteriors.com. TJ Hawkinson was asked, and I just heard it a lot yesterday, kind of the perception that the Vikings offense was more fluid and just it seemed like everything worked a little more successfully yesterday than it did day one. Were people just more locked in, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, every day is different. We're just out here trying to learn, learn some concepts. I mean, we had some good meetings last night, just, going over some things. I mean, everything was super close yesterday. I mean, it was just like one thing or another. There was spools out there. There was a lot of things that, we just needed to talk about as a unit, and we got it cleaned up and came out here and played well.
There we go. TJ looked very good in moments yesterday as well, PA. So just we were so busy talking about wide receiver 4 and loving what Juwan Jennings brings into the mix. Just to kind of also still TBD, but TJ finding opportunities in this offense. I think that could be a good connection for Kyler this year.
So through all that,
the con!
We don't have any Alec whisper questions.
As a matter of fact, the press conferences I was watching yesterday,
he spoke more loudly, didn't he?
He was at least 5 decibels higher.
5 decibels minimum.
Above average.
Yeah, raising kids on the fly, man, it's a joy. It's 9:46. Alec will be here about 15-20 minutes from now. And when we return into the Baltimore game, what does the, quote, numbers game, end quote, look like for the Minnesota Vikings? We'll hit that low key at FM 100.3 KFAN.
You're listening live to Paul Allen at 9 to noon on iHeartRadio and FM 100.
Let's go Vikings!
Double doink.
A week from Sunday, when teams cut down to their active 53 and establish practice squads, there will be in the neighborhood, good morning, Alec, there will be in the neighborhood of 1,184 players available for evaluation. And when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings and the numbers game, so to speak, with Alec Lewis on the horizon to corroborate some of these. Here's kind of what I'm thinking with the numbers game, and the numbers post the joints, and with 2 preseason games to go, I'm not sure much is going to change when it comes to the active 53. I'm on 3 quarterbacks, and McCarthy is the backup, whether you like it or not. Running backs, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Damon Claiborne, Max Bredesen, Xavier Scott. I have 5 there. Tight end, this is where when Alec joins in 10 minutes, we're going to chop it up a little bit. The conventional number is 4. For me, I have 3. All right. And I have reasons behind it. Hawkinson, Oliver, and Jurasik. Would they keep 3 or do they have to keep 4? Bartholomew didn't have a grab during the Giants game on 1 target, didn't play as much as I thought he was going to play, and the blocking and protection piece hasn't been noteworthy. So I think that's key there. Now, Marshall Lang, who was practice squad with Seattle last year, that's a Teasley move. All right, there are a handful of Nolan Teasley moves that have been made since he got here June 1st. Lang's one of them. Now, getting Lang to the active 53, that's a different conversation. But that's what I'm thinking about right now. With the Minnesota Moving Company, you got the starting five, Darisaw over to O'Neill. And I'm struggling with this, too, because 9 feels like the right number. But I want to talk this out with the scribe, with Alec Lewis. Because after the starting five, I have Vandermark, Juergens, Huber, and Bird. Okay, now I think Bird's going to start at left tackle tomorrow. So we have position flexibility there.
And then Tiernan as well?
And Tiernan's in the mix, too. So that gets to 10.
That's 10.
And that gets us to 21, up to the receivers, where Addison, Jefferson, Jennings, Miles Price, and Ty Felton. I think that's pretty set.
Me too.
So special teams is big for Ty. That gets you 5, and that gets you to 25. Defense, defensive line, Redmond, Ingram Dawkins, Levi Drake Rodriguez, Banks, Citrus, and Elijah Williams, and I can stop there. So that gets me 6. Edge, Turner, Van Ginkel, Richter, Chambliss, and Batty. That gets me 5.
Oh.
Inside linebacker, Cashman, Wilson, Golday, and Pace Jr. That gets me 4 and up to 41. Cornerback, Rogers, Murphy Jr., Pierre, and Demings. Now, I might be one light there, but that would get me to 45. Safeties, Metellus, Jackson, Jacoby Thomas, Jacob Thomas, and Jay Ward. That gets 5 there. That gets me to 50. Then you put the 3 you get the 3 specialists in there. Say it again. Love you. Then you got Serpo and Thrill and punter to be named later, and that gets you to 53. So that's we're going to corroborate some of that with Alec Lewis around the corner. What do you think, Mr. Khan?
Well, I had similar struggles to what you had. For instance, I have 9 O-line. And I have 4 on the tight end. So
I'd have to ask you, why do you have Bartholomew?
Well,
that's what I'm struggling with.
And I'm having trouble providing you with an answer other than the fact that the idea of having that 4th tight end in this offense and the potential versatility of it.
Right.
To that end, I'm only putting 4 in that spot because of that idea, without being able to tell you that Bartholomew has performed to a level that gives you the fruit of that prospect. So on that end, I'm not wrote on Bird. So looking at this thing, it just feels like that the team is about ready to move on from Walter Rouse. I just haven't seen enough to say that's going to stick. And I've just sat at 9 really most of the time. That Joe Huber has been in the mix. Juergens is going to remain in that spot. The 7th round center is going to be a practice squad cat, 3rd rounder, and Tiernan, once he's healthy, he's going to make the mix. So I had 9 there.
Yep.
And so I ended up at 26 on the offensive side. And then to that end.
Yeah, but you know what? Taki Taimani has had a really, really good camp, and I heard really good things about him up to the Giants game.
Yeah,
I might need to slide him into that active 53.
Well, and that's why somebody has to take an L on the offense and get down to 25 from your standpoint, because I'm looking at the D-line. The names were all the same for me. The 6 big guys in the middle with Redmond, Rodriguez, Banks, Orange, and Williams and Ingram Dawkins, who they've tried at the outside spot. I only had 4 edge at this particular point. And if Chambliss is going to provide options as a special teams cat, and that's where the value is being found, then I could be very wrong there. But it's still 4 middle linebackers, Golday and Pace behind Ewell and Cashman. And then, but to the defensive backfield, I mean, what do we got here? We got Pierre. We have Rogers and Murphy. Then we have Demings. How's Zamaya Vaughn looked? That can get you up to 5 there.
Yep.
And then in the safeties, I mean, what about Tavier Tarpie? I mean,
oh wait, I didn't have Tavier Thomas in there.
Tavier Thomas, excuse me.
Oh, he has to be in there. I took an L.
So I'm looking at, like, who's going to get cut to get down to 10?
Someone heavy now.
Should it be 11 where it's 6, including Jacob Thomas that you mentioned? And he's been showing out. I mean, most people should get to know Jacob Thomas. Maybe you'll get to know more about him tomorrow.
Yeah.
So maybe it is 25-25 with 11 DBs in the mix. If you put 11 DBs in the mix, then maybe one of your 5 edges is going to take an L, or maybe it's, but there might not be room for Taki Taimani is what I'm getting at. So in the end, the O-line and tight end bit's kind of confusing me a bit.
Jiminy.
And then how many of these the defensive front players can they afford to keep at the risk of sacrificing on the back end?
Somebody who's deeply into the numbers game at this stage of the equation is Alec Lewis with The Athletic and theathletic.com. He joins us around the corner, and he also just put his phone in front of me. There's some big Minnesota Timberwolves ownership-related news that we also will share when we return to KFAN.
This is 9 to noon, live on